The one with Ross's library book is the 7th episode of the 7th season of Friends. This is directed by David Schwimmer, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. I don't actually have that many notes with this one. It absolutely is not a reflection of my enjoyment. There were just not that many key things that I wanted to write down. But to be fair, the bulk of season 7 so far has given me a lot of thoughts and a lot of things to say, so I don't mind that I don't have too much with this particular episode. We have 3 parts to the narrative. I'll talk about them in turn. One focuses on Ross, and he takes Chandler to the library because he's discovered that his dissertation is there, and he's really excited about this. And they go to the back of the library, and they discover people having sex. And Ross is outraged that they do this, not so much in the library, but in front of his book. And he starts to police it and make sure nobody goes there to do that. And then he meets a woman, and she actually knows who he is because she's read the dissertation, and suddenly he's no longer concerned about that. I like this part of the narrative. I love libraries, anything that supports using a library, maybe not for sexual reasons, I'm fully in support of as well, and absolutely love. So a fun part of the narrative, definitely pretty enjoyable. Part of the narrative then focuses on Joey, and actually in the opening, Rachel accidentally walks in on Joey's date in the bathroom. This is a woman called Erin, played by Kristin Davis, and Joey has to head out, so he asks Rachel to kind of get rid of her in a nice way, and Joey comes home a little while later, and Erin is still there. I love the reveal. She has her back to him, and then she's in the chair, and it's very, very well done. And then it turns out that Phoebe and Rachel actually really, really like her, and they want Joey to spend time with her, so he does. And it turns out he really likes her as well. And in an unfortunate twist of fate, it turns out she just doesn't feel a spark with Joey, and asks Rachel and Phoebe to help her break up with him. So things turned around there, and I rather enjoyed it as well. I don't have too many thoughts there. Erin's a likeable character. Had they decided to extend the relationship a few episodes, I wouldn't have had a problem with that, but it also works well, being wrapped up nicely in this one episode. And then we come to Monica and Chandler and Janice. Monica is in the restaurant, in the kitchen, and somebody wants to come and complain about the chicken. I could never imagine going... Also, are you even allowed in the kitchen if you're not employed? I feel like that's a health and safety risk, but nevertheless, I could never imagine going into the kitchen to tell the chef their food is terrible. I would never complain about bad food anyway, unless it had, like, something in it that shouldn't be there, but that's my need to avoid confrontation. Janice obviously doesn't have that need, and she goes to tell Monica, and she doesn't realise it's Monica, and then she sees the ring on Monica's finger, and of course, she doesn't know about Monica and Chandler. And the next thing we know, Monica is at home with Chandler, telling him about Janice, and she reveals that Janice kind of invited herself to the wedding, and she didn't know how to say no, so Janice is ending up coming over for dinner instead. And we then cut to a little while later, Janice has come over for dinner, and Monica and Chandler are trying to find a way to tell her she can't come to the wedding. And they found a decent way, in theory, by saying that it's just for family. And we get a couple of seconds of thinking that maybe Janice has understood. And then she says, "You two think of me as family." Well, that backfired. I loved her response. And then she's staying over and she starts to have nasally sounds, and Chandler makes the nasal sound. And they finally come up with a plan that works. Monica declares that Chandler still has feelings for Janice. And initially, Chandler obviously doesn't want to go along with this. But Janice realises that if Chandler still has feelings for her, it would be inappropriate for her to go to the wedding. And I loved Monica's response to Janice when she said, "His feelings may never completely go away, but you can." Which is harsh, very harsh. But it worked, and she left. And I just really enjoyed seeing Janice again. I feel like it's been quite a while, and she's just such a brilliant character, and just all of her scenes in this are fabulous. It's quite strange, actually, to have a character who is so irritating, so annoying, but so well-loved. And I feel like that's quite a rare thing she's quite a special character, and I rather like Janice, as many people do. I don't know if I have many personal highlights from this episode. I guess Joey realising Erin was there, that moment was quite well done. Ross with his dissertation, just in general, I rather liked it. And everything with Janice. Yeah, I don't have any real specific highlights, just the episode as a whole is very, very good. Needless to say, the one with Ross's library book is a brilliant episode of Friends, and certainly one that I really thoroughly enjoyed.